Hi, everybody. In today's video, we're going to look at Claude design. I heard that there were some new changes related to design. So we're actually going to walk through this process and see how it works. So let's get started. Hi, Claude. I need some help in trying to get a website that I have redesigned. I heard that you had capabilities around designing websites, so we want to explore that a little bit more today. The name of the website is qarevolution.com. And what I would like you to do is ask me a series of questions related to the design before we get started. The existing website is a WordPress site, so I want a theme created around WordPress. Also, this is a technical website where we do things like software testing, and I really like the Spotify color scheme, so I want to use the colors for Spotify. Before we get started, remember to ask me any questions, and let's go ahead and get started with this redesign. It's been a long time since I had this redone. In addition to the redesign, I also need a logo created for the website. And then we're going to continue with that theme and expand it into other areas. Okay, let's get started. All right, so let's see what it comes back with. Hopefully it asks me a series of questions. One of the things that I've learned with AI is you want it to ask you a series of questions ahead of time so that you know it has the full information needed and so that it really can do the best job. So it's starting to organize some of the questions, which is good. Yeah. And so it's matching my theme that I had requested. And so I'm basically going to say website, it has content and videos on the site. Full dark mode, like Spotify direction. Show me a few concepts. Yeah, so let's see what it's putting out there. I did hear that when you enter into this design mode, that there were a lot of tokens that were used. I am using the max plan, so we shouldn't run into any issues around that. But let's see what it does from that perspective. And it essentially hopefully knows that it's a WordPress site. So in WordPress, if you're not familiar, there's different themes that you can basically go and install. It also, from my perspective and really on this capabilities, it does integrate with my browser automatically. So I'm using the Chrome plugin for that. So I'm already logged in, everything's ready to go there. So if you need to do this, make sure that you have the Chrome browser plugin installed and those settings are set up so that you'll be able to use it and really have it do hopefully the heavy lifting part of the work as it relates to that. Okay, it's building some concepts for the logo. Looks like it's gonna prod 4 of those. And honestly, the logo may not be best here. So I recently have started using OpenAI and their new image generation capability. And so what I may do if this is not good enough, I may switch over to OpenAI and actually have it build the logo. I'm less concerned about the logo being in Claude and more concerned about making sure that it gets right. So as we're waiting, one of the things that you need to keep in mind, while I am a huge Claude advocate, I also know that there's a lot of other tools, Gemini, OpenAI, other AI tools and products out there. So it's really important to keep an open mind with all these different tools and play around and really figure out what works best and leverage that capability. While all these AI systems, LLMs, are constantly being updated, there are certain things that work well in some and others. So it's always good to play multiple sides of the fence there as it relates to these things, because otherwise you may not be getting the best output depending on which LLM you're using. Each one of them have different strengths, different capabilities. And so it's always important to keep that in mind and not always be so focused on having one over the other from that perspective. Yeah, it you can tell it's churning, it's doing a lot of work in the background as it relates to this request. So it may take it a while for it to generate. And it looks like now it's really focused on the logo part of it. So I'm sure that there'll be more things that are going to be generated in the background as it relates to this. So we'll see what it comes back with. Okay, looks like it has come back with something. So I think that I like number 2. So let's just go with 02. Let's see here. Let's do an equal weight to both. So I think let's go with the first one, which is the blocks that WordPress uses. It has different blocks and things as it relates to how the design is. So let's just go with that option and see what happens here. I'm starting to architect the homepage, have a good balance between articles and videos. And so the other thing that I'm starting to do is I do obviously have a YouTube channel. So in addition to having the videos published on YouTube, I also am having those embedded into the QA Revolution site so that if they go to the site, they can click on the videos and see it that way, in addition to the content that is on QARevolution.com. All right, it's starting to craft the homepage. And let's see what it comes back with. Yeah, I haven't used the design part of Claude before, so I'm not sure what it's going to come back with, but I feel pretty confident that it should be able to handle this task and really get me what I'm looking for. I have looked at some of the themes out there on WordPress. I've shifted different themes throughout the years. It is really pretty easy to switch from one theme to another. But when you do switch themes, you often have to do some customization to get it to look right. So there is some effort involved in trying to get that part done. Okay, it looks like it has come back with some of the theme components of the website. So let's take a look and see what it's done from that perspective. All right, so typography. Let's see. I think I'm trying to decide on some of the components here. If you look at the design here, it does have latest videos, newsletter, latest articles, and then, it does mention AI. So I think that's good. see what it to for having latest videos page. It needs to have or icons and design component related to AI and software testing. All right, so it's not a bad design. So an about bio is good. I think a clean design is also good. It's a pretty decent start, actually. And really, the dark mode, a lot of people, especially in tech, are big into this dark mode theme. And the green looks sharp. So I do that part of the components. I could roll with what's there for sure. But let's see what it comes back with. And I'm still a bit on the fence on the subscription thing, although putting in your email, subscribing to a newsletter, a lot of people do that, and I know it generates a lot of traffic. But you often have to have a third-party tool that can do that, although Claude could probably build me something that would be able to do that. When you publish an article, it will send out a newsletter, email, and then that is obviously generating more traffic back to the website. And really, a lot of the leading experts in terms of getting people back to your website are big proponents of having a newsletter that's frequently published from that perspective. All right, it's building, so we will see what it comes back with here in a few minutes. Okay, so it did come back, and it looks like, I think this update is definitely better than what we had previously. So you can see here, it's got something here at the top. It's got the different sections of AI, test automation, quality engineering tools, and workflows. So that looks good. And then, yeah, I think the newsletter part looks a lot better. So let's lock it in. So for the articles and videos, we want to keep that. That for the years of experience, we want to go to 20, over 20 to 20 plus. So you'll notice when Claude asks you questions, you can either select this or you can do some further refinement. So that's what I've done here. Let's do all three together because we want all three of those done. So it's going to essentially have a bio page, which is pretty common. Then it's going to have in WordPress, you have a single post page, and then you have probably a video page as well. So it's going to do all three of those components as it relates to that. One thing that I've also debated about is getting more into coursework. I may at some point add a courses tab or section as it relates to that. Okay, it's building the mockup. And I'm really interested to see how it gets packaged. I think WordPress does a zip file, if I remember right. You essentially can log into WordPress, have it do the zip file, do the upload, and then have the redesign as it relates to that. All right, it's locked. And then I can also give it things like my photo. I have a standard photo, so I'll have it use that. Interesting. It's got software testing nerd, AI optimist, and the guy behind QA Revolution. That's pretty accurate. It's scary that it knows that about me, but I guess that makes sense. So I think what we want to do is change. We're going to want to change a few things here, but what it comes back with. I do think I want to change it from QA engineer to obviously a QA leader or QA evangelist. And then the other thing I want to take, I am building another tool or product around doing a self-aligned TMMI maturity model platform. So that is something I'm currently building. Let's see what it's doing. I went ahead and built the articles page. And then I'm guessing it's also building the video page. One of the things that I know I asked it to build all this, but what it does is it just builds it. And then you have to go back to it. Okay, it's building the video page, which is fine. And it looks like it's doing a pretty good job, and I thought it would. So the video, specific video page. And then it's just got more. Okay. Should be getting close to being done. All right, so let's do this. Let's take these. One, I task E for my feedback. Contact page. Yeah, we want to do the contact page. And yeah, I definitely want it to write it. So let's see what it comes back with. Mock-ups are also good, right? You could take the mock-up, you could give it to somebody who's a WordPress expert, but honestly, like, why would you do that if Claude can do it for you? All right. So yeah, it's basically picking up. I think we'll just meet run. Polish my draft. Let's see. I think this is okay. We'll leave all those in there for now. What it's doing here. The other thing that it could do is go find me on LinkedIn and put some of that information in. I can certainly go back through and just have it create the base, and then I can add more details. Let's see. I want it to explore or QA leadership and strategy and less on technical background. Okay. Featured image, real photos. I think I want to do that list format with the thumbnails. So it's basically moving from the bio into the articles. Hopefully it'll give me a revised format of the articles section, and then I guess it'll move into the video part of it. I'm going to stop it actually, because the focusing on the leadership and QA strategy, that was supposed to be in my bio and not related to the article template. So sometimes you have to stop it and get it to redirect itself. So it should make that adjustment. And then probably in the bio, okay. Let's see. In the bio, also want it to link. I think it's going to link there anyway. Is it going link YouTube linked in pro. The video similar to the ales to get more compact. I think we'll just keep it here. Still working. Okay, we'll let it work for a few minutes here and then we'll come back. Okay, it's come back. And let's see. Okay. Not bad. Right, let's just look. I'm looking at this part. So the video is, let's make it more. Let's make more red. So I think we can add this. It's Twitter. Do have Twitter. Let's see what it comes back with. I'd rather have more grid view than just the line by line. See what it looks like when it comes back. I think that'll look better. Yeah, tighter grid looks better. Yeah, much better. Much better. That works. 3 grids. Lock it. Let's go to the contact page. So we should be getting fairly close. Okay, let's see. Contact page. Yes. I think that works. Just say hi, send a message. Pretty simple. Yep, that works. Lock it in. It's fine. Okay. All right, so now it's moving into the how to deliver the theme. And what I may do is have a before view and then an after view and see what it looks like. I'm sure there'll be some tweaks that are needed. There usually are when you make a WordPress change. And I'm probably going to ask it to look at my current architecture and make sure there's no gaps. I'm actually going to probably stop it and say, before you do, can you actually look at my existing website and see if it's going to match all the components that you are setting up to do a package deployment for this theme? But yeah, I just want to make sure that it's going to look at everything that's there before it actually builds it. Otherwise, there could be gaps. Because there's things like categories and things like that it's done in the mock-up. So I want to make sure that those types of things are incorporated. And I'm not having to do a whole lot of manual edits to make it all work. All right, so it's come back and basically found a few issues. I knew that I had more categories. So it's basically asking me here, which one should I include? So I'm basically going to say software testing, AI is going to be a big push. Let's do maybe agile and automation. I think that gives me some of the good ones. All right, videos, 10 articles, mock-up design. Let's keep as a training lab. Let's drop training for now. Because I think essentially it was just back to kind of videos. I did have some Udemy training for a while, so it may have been that. But I can always add it if I need to at a later point in time. All right, it puts the 4 categories. I guess search is fine. YouTube pages about. Let's just have one. Let's just do a free contact form. I was wondering how it was going to handle that plugin because I don't think I had anything set up before for that. Could be getting pretty close. All right, now it's going to leverage the design skill, which is the one that I was wondering. I knew that they had made update to that. So it's leveraging from that skill that's already built. So that makes sense. Now it's starting to build it. And it's going through and building the style sheets to match whatever WordPress has. So that's good. Okay, it looks like it is now done. So, and it's zipped everything. So I went ahead and unzipped it, and it should be ready to go. And now I'm going to say, okay, go ahead. I have already put this in the download section on my computer. Go ahead and upload it to QARevolution.com. And let's see what it does. It should work. I try to get Claude to do as much as possible so that I'm not having to do as much work. I know it says I should have a staging environment, but I just have production. I could always go back and put the old theme in. While we're waiting, I did want to show you. So I've got here's what the site looks like today. So it's been out there for a while, so it's pretty old in terms of look and feel. So that's really why I wanted to try to do this. All right, the zip is on your downloads. Okay, I'm gonna say, remember you are already logged in using my ID, and you should be able to get there through the browser plugin. So it may not do it, but we'll see. You definitely have to remind it on this browser extension because by default, it'll just tell you can't do it. And so I'm always having to reprompt it with this. So now it recognizes that it can do it. It recognizes that it's logged in. Yeah, I'm already logged in. So let's see if we go over here, what it does. I think it's actually here on this page. Okay. Should be on this themes page. That's where it should be. I know there's themes there. So I think I have to go to here and I can say get info or info. I think I can just copy. I had to do this before. Copy this, and then it should be able to recognize it from here when I paste it in. Okay, pasted that in. Should be able to read the image. Basically, it's got it. Knows what to do. On the WordPress site, click choose now. So I'm going to go here, upload theme, choose it. This one, click open. Okay. I'm just going to say done. See if it picks it up. All right. It's installing it. So you can actually see it's unpacking, installing, and the theme. So let's see what live preview looks like. See how close it is. And I'm going to give it this, what I was wanting to see, but it's part of the troubleshooting issues. Paste it. So it does recognize that there's a problem. So one thing, just thinking back through this, it could have probably gone in and set up a WordPress site locally and then tried to resolve it that way because it's probably going to have to reinstall at this point in order to get it resolved. All right, I'm going to let it work for a while and then I'll come back. Okay, as you can see, the website is live. There are a few technical issues that Claude helped me fix, but I was able to basically leverage Claude to create the design, do the install of the WordPress, and make sure that everything is live and operational. So just wanted to give you a quick update. If you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would certainly appreciate it. More videos to come. We'll talk to you later. Bye.